Greetings, 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 and welcome to the broadcast. I I am Dr. Daphne Clarke-Hudson, your why and soul purpose coach and consultant. I work with my clients to help them to connect with their why and their soul purpose, allowing them to connect with their inner blueprint for success. This way, they can understand more about why they were created and therefore to focus on their calling and purpose in life. I want to welcome those of you who are on Facebook and also on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and also for those of my friends over on um, on TikTok. If you are not already doing so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my newsletter by visiting my website, daphneclark.com, and share the information with your communities as well. All right? For those of you who would like to work with me, you can text the number on my profile 203-885-5093 to get an appointment. I only work through private appointments. So you can reach out, text me. Once you text me, I will connect with you and give you the instructions on how to schedule an appointment for us to get together. Some people I work with them on the phone, and some on Skype, and some on Zoom. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. All right. So welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome. And this broadcast, we are going to talk about spiritual healing. Spiritual healing. And one of my one of someone in the community asked me to speak on that topic. You remember that we were doing we were collecting topics, and spiritual healing is one of the topics that that somebody asked me. I don't remember who asked me to speak on it. I need to find that find the research. I need to find the research that what I want to share with you this morning. Okay, what time is it? Okay, I think we are going to I want us to do the at 6:45 we will do the water therapy. We will do the water therapy and take it from there, because we I'm looking, just bear with me, guys. I'm looking to find my research again. Mm. All right. Okay. So, spiritual healing. No, I was not. Oh, please. I'm sorry. I hope you're having a... Right. As we think about spiritual healing, there is a lot of questions that comes to mind. Spiritual healing and spiritual focus, there has been an awakening, if you may, around the topic, because especially for me, when I began focusing more on my spirituality versus religion, there was a lot of unease in the religious community that I was associated with. So, needless to say that this is a very sensitive topic for many, because a lot of people do not understand or choose not to, not that they do not, They choose not to understand the difference between religion and spirituality. So I want to share from my perspective about my spiritual healing and my spiritual journey. All right? And as I share this, I am sure that you are going to be having your own insight on this as well, with something that you're probably struggling with and labelings that you have to be working against. However, spiritual healing is for you, the individual. Okay? Spiritual healing has nothing to do with your religious affiliation. Spiritual healing has to do with the inner person, all of who you are, how you interact with your world at large. How can you still yourself? How can you embrace others and their beliefs and their understanding? So for me, spiritual healing started off when I had to ask myself, what are the things that I now believe to be true in my life for me? What are the things I will choose to still support in my life? And that has to do with practices, things that has been part of my life for so many years. You all heard me talk about running and hiding my purpose for 62 years. And even when I was enlightened and awakened around my spirituality and my spiritual healing was taking place, there were aspects of who I am that I still hid. And I was working on my spiritual healing in private. Okay? So let me, this is not the research I wanted, but I'm going to use this one this morning. Spiritual healing, what is it and how it works, how you can learn to do it. Do you want to help others? Do you want to help others? Perhaps you have heard some stories of people who have received spiritual healing, or you have been inspired by others, by another healer. You might be asking, is it real, or could I become a spiritual healer? Or perhaps you have already received spiritual healing yourself and are wondering if it is something you could do. You can help people with aches and pains, injuries and illnesses, sometimes in miraculous ways with spiritual healing. All right? Now, can anyone become a spiritual healer? Some people say you have to have a spiritual gift to be able to give spiritual healing. Others say you need the help of a spiritual guide, or that you need to have amazing psychic powers. This isn't true. Anyone can learn to give spiritual healing to others. We can all tap into universal supply of energy around us and send it to people, animals, and even plants who need some help. Spiritual healing is a natural process. Even though your result might appear miraculous, to medical science, they are not miracles. Miracles are not contrary to nature, but only contrary to what we know about nature. That's a quote by St. Augustine of Hippo. It is a skill that can be learned by anyone who wants to help others. And the more determined you are to give spiritual healing, the better healer you will become. Like any skill, it helps to have a good teacher, especially one who is living proof of the teaching. All right? So that portion that I shared is talking about a spiritual healer. And especially on these social media platforms, we encounter daily so many different healers. And I tell people, and I've had this conversation, I think on today is Monday. On Friday, I was having a similar conversation with one of my friends on TikTok. And she was saying, oh, I had no idea that so and so and so and so, because she was talking about the way I do my readings, and she asked about certain modalities, and I said, no, I do not have the experience with those things, because my gift is connecting with the universe and getting my downloads to work with people. After I'm through with that reading, people ask me again, oh, did you say so and so? And I have no idea, because when I get the download, I deliver it to you. So you come back a couple days and ask me, I don't know, because I was a vessel through which that message was delivered to you. All right? So for me, I had to step out of my religious programming, and I am still allowing myself to be receptive to this new assignment. This is why when I'm on my broadcast and people come in with brimstone and fire and bullying other people, this is why I do not have the tolerance for that. Because we are in the time now when people are awoke and people are tapping into their spiritual abilities. And whether or not you put your foot or your body in another quote unquote church building, you got to know that everywhere we go, we are the church. God is in us everywhere we go, and we are free to do the work that we are called to do out in the street, out in out on the highways, wherever we are. We don't have to be in any special building. We don't need to be under any special guidance, because the God in me is the God in you. So are you willing to unlearn the programming that you were programmed over the years in order to allow your spiritual healing to take place? It is scary, because why? People don't want to be different. People don't want others to know that, oh, I can do this and I can do that. And I have a word for those of you that are still holding on to religion and pushing aside your spiritual guidance. I'm telling you, make the decision to get to understand your spirituality and to claim your responsibility around the work that you have to do. Spend quiet time with yourself. Get into meditation. Listen to your intuition. And you keep doing that over and over and over. Okay, it's 6:51. Let us do the water therapy. Let's do the water therapy, please. All right, get your water and let us do the water therapy. The water therapy is a practice that I've been doing for years, and I now include it in my broadcast. All right? You bless your water. Water is energy, like everything else around us is energy. We supercharge our water and we ask for the for this water to bless our body. What are we looking for? We're looking for healing, clarity, understanding. Whatever it is you want, I want you to bless your water and ask for that. I ask for spiritual insight, both in my hearing, in my seeing, and my feeling. I ask for clarity in all aspects of my spirituality. I ask that this water will go directly to every organ in my body, every cell, even every nucleus, and that it will supercharge my organs so that I can experience optimum health. And let us drink. it is finished. If you are just starting, to participate in the water therapy, I encourage you to start your journaling so you can track the practices. You can track the result, pardon me, of your of the water therapy. All right. OTB greetings. How are you, Queen? Dr. George King did a research in 1990 to 1997. And here is what he says about spiritual healing. He says, spiritual revolution in spiritual healing movement was a Dr. George King, 1919 to 1997, was a spiritual healer with great knowledge and spiritual power, which he used to help humanity as much as he could. From his mid-20s, he spent 8 to 10 hours per day for 10 years practicing advanced forms of yoga as a way of attaining alignment. He became an expert psychic and spiritual healer who could physically see, smell, and feel what what was wrong with someone and treat this condition precisely as needed. Sometimes he had the assistance of expert guides working on the higher realm who helped him with specific healing cases and with research that he was doing. In 1976, with more than 30 years experience and countless hours of devotion to healing others under his belt, Dr. King published a book which would revolutionize the healing movement, making spiritual healing accessible to all. It was called simply "You Too Can Heal" by Dr. King's own words. Some years ago, this is a quote from him. Some years ago, I started to make quite a close study of different types of spiritual healing. And I discovered beyond any doubt that, number one, everybody had this so-called gift. And number two, most people did not practice spiritual healing because they did not know how to start. So I involved a technique which would enable someone to make a start. Before this, ladies and gentlemen, the spiritual healing movement was doing tremendously good work. But now they couldn't tell you how. They they didn't know how, or very few of them knew how. The spiritualist said it was some vague power from spirit. The other people said they had a gift from God, but no one could come up and but no one could come up and say, well, of course, it works because of what, of that, or that, or that, or that, and it worked. It looks as though it was my responsibility to do this, and I did it. And that's a quote from Dr. King. Suddenly people said, my God, I wonder, can I do it? They didn't try. For one thing, if the technique you can't, with this technique, you can't do any harm. Why don't I try? So they tried, and they found out gradually they were better and better and better at it. People say, this has changed my whole life because now I feel I can be of use. I have found something that I can do. And if only I have helped those people, then the book, You Too Can Heal, was worth all of the trouble it took me to write and all the expense of it that it took to publish. It is great. It is a great thing, this healing. It can change your life. It can make you forget your own little world. It can bring you out. It can cause expansion within your own consciousness and give you, and it is very important, a greater faith in yourself, a greater knowledge of your own wonderful abilities. And this is the quote from Master Yoga, Dr. George King. So the book, You Too Can Heal, if you haven't read it, I don't have it, and I will have to get it. And there are so many different modalities. There are some of you out there who are Reiki masters and Reiki teachers. So you have a clear understanding and you can relate. I am great, just passing through. Okay. You can get the knowledge, and I want to show the picture of him touching and healing there. That is a doctor. So you too, I'm showing it to you. You can get the book and enhance your healing. So for those people who are saying all this, this is hocus pocus and all of that, I know for some people they label me and they're calling me, oh, she's a new age person. So people who do not avail themselves to, and there is the book that he talked about. You see the book there? You Too Can Heal. So go there and get it, Dr. George King, so you can get that book for yourself and learn. And don't allow society to mislead you. because there are many people who are suffering, many people who are not getting the healing that they need because they do not understand the power that their bodies have. Our bodies, guys, were created to heal themselves if only we would allow it to do that. But we mistreat our bodies. We mistreat our bodies. And we just think that popping the pharmaceutical and all of that is what we are created for. So let me continue sharing from Dr. George King's research here. You Too Can Heal. The book was released in 1976 by Dr. King. Was a revolutionary in the spiritual healing movement. It includes step-by-step instructions for contact spiritual healing, self-healing, and the absent healing. At the same meeting in 1974, Dr. King invited 20 trained spiritual healers from the AETHERIUS Society of Healing brand on the platform. While he answered questions, the healers gave treatment to 60 people. So guys, do not underestimate your work, and don't allow society to talk you out of what you were created for, what you were born to do. What is spiritual healing? Spiritual healing is a natural process in which spiritual energy is conveyed from and through you into your patient in order to bring about the state of greater balance for healing within them. Dr. King describes spiritual healing as a science in which the universal life focuses are conveyed from the healer to the patient. He said, outside of you, from the surface of this globe, way beyond the sun, is your storehouse of tremendous natural forces. Bring these into yourself, and then you can greatly help your suffering brothers. Certain experienced yogis, monks, and martial artists have learned to harness the same energy to perform superhuman feats and great strength and healing. You too can channel this energy and use it to help bring relief to people who need it. In fact, you can even bring it physically. You can physically feel energy for yourself and your patients, and you can feel it too. All right, so For those of you who probably have your doubts and labeling, I have this assignment for you that I am sending you on to go out there and do the research. And this was not the research when I did the research last night. This was not the research I intended to share. But the universe had it this morning. For those of you who were on earlier on, notice that I had lost the first research. I thought I had lost it. But this is a more enlightened one for us to hear this morning. The universe is always so faithful in delivering what it is that we want. So do what it is that you need to do. Black out what the naysayers are saying about what it is you're called to do. Go out there, do the work. Free yourselves. Now more than ever, we need to be obedient. We are still in a pandemic. And we can go out there and we can rebirth. We can go out there and we can rebirth. We can deliver things that we have been sitting on and being disobedient. So this is part of my new assignment. And I am just encouraging you, for those of you who have the inclination, those who have been struggling and battling about it, free yourselves. Don't worry about who is using what and who is doing what. Go out there and tap into your spiritual healing powers. We are called to make a difference. Grand Rising. We are called to make a difference. So let us go out there and let us do that. Again, the book is You Too Can Heal by Dr. George King. So I'm excited about what I found in this research. And I know that it is going to allow me to add more to my practice. It is affirming that what I'm doing is part of my divine calling and purpose, and I am so excited about that. And it is probably yours too. And I want to encourage you to be obedient and go forth and utilize your calling and your purpose. Don't look back. Don't be afraid. Find people out there who can support you and to encourage you in whatever it is that you're doing. Reach out to me. I'm here for you. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone and to call. Text me at 203-885-5093 so that I can be the midwife that help you to birth your dreams. Subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on Instagram, connect with me on Facebook and LinkedIn. Also on my website, please sign up for my newsletter. My website is daphneclarke.com. I look forward to seeing you on my next broadcast. Stay blessed. And remember, you are called for a specific purpose. Be well, everyone, and I will see you on the next broadcast. Bye now.